and welcome to the Lango Show. My name is Phương, and yes, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello everyone, my name is Nga. I'm 19 years old and I'm currently a freshman at the University of Languages and International Study, and I got an overall IELTS 7.5.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. So first of all, can you share about the feelings that you had when you received your band score?
Well, it was such an ineffable feeling when it comes to my band score because my very first target was just 7 points overall. And to be honest, the decision of studying for the IELTS at that moment was really a tough one for me. And I still remember vividly the image of me screaming and then bursting with joy, then into happy tears when I checked the score on the website. And after that, I had to make some video calls for my sisters and my friends right off the bat. But I was speechless. I don't know, maybe I was just, I chalked up a little bit, and the only thought that came across my mind at that moment was that hard work indeed paid off.
Yeah, indeed, yes. So can you share about the difficulties that you faced in the process of studying for IELTS?
Well, there are tons of challenges when it comes to studying for the IELTS. So for me, I guess one of them was how to balance the time between studying for the IELTS and studying for other subjects in my high school. Because when I decided to study for the IELTS, I started from the scratch, and it was just about 6 months before the national exam. That meant I kept writing away at my bonkers schedules, putting a lot of effort into studying for the IELTS while striving my best for the national exam. And to be honest, I was exhausted sometimes. Furthermore, I was always dreading a writing skill, and to be honest, that score left a little bit to be desired. Having said that, Lango had a comprehensive course and the teachers were really supportive. So I guess it helped me a lot in the process of studying for the IELTS.
Okay, very nice. So how did you know and why did you decide to study here at IELTS Lango?
It was really challenging for me to opt for an IELTS center at that time because, as I was saying, it was in the pandemic, so everything had to be online, which was not an option that everybody would go for. And furthermore, there's a range of IELTS centers in Hanoi, and there are multiple criteria you have to take into consideration, such as the reputation of that center, the quality of the teacher, the tuition fee, their service, I mean, you name it. And personally speaking, I'm always kind of a choosy girl, but Lango seemed to have all the things that I needed. So I decided to have a go, and up till now, I have to say that I made the right decision and never regretted it.
Alright, so actually you got an 8.5 for your speaking skill, right? So what helped you to achieve such a high score?
Well, 8.5 in IELTS speaking is a score that I have never dreamt of before. And I guess that's the result for all my discipline and my seamless endeavor for months. Apart from class and tutor hours with IELTS Lango, I spend time speaking with my partner also in my class. And otherwise, I would use an app in my phone called the voice recording app to spend time speaking by myself. And I guess that improved my fluency in such an incredible way that in the speaking IELTS test, I consider the examiner as my friend. And I mean, everything was so natural. All in all, just acknowledge your weakness, your strength, and know what examiner needs the most so you can give them exactly what they want. And also, I was so blessed that day because the topic that day was about books, a subject that definitely my neck. So what can I say when the stars align? I don't know, just long story short, the combination of all the factors that I have just told you helped me to get such a high score in IELTS speaking.
Okay, that's very nice. So what is your impression of the teachers and IELTS lingo in general?
Well, when it comes to my impression of teachers and IELTS lingo, I have a lot to say. First of all, about the teachers, our teacher at that time was Nam Dũng, and I was lucky enough to be his student because I have to say that never have I met such an incredible and enthusiastic teacher like him. I can see his dedication through his thoroughly prepared slides and his meticulous feedbacks to our writing and speaking skills. And on top of that, he's not only our beloved teacher, but also like a big brother that we can talk to and confide in at any time. And that inadvertently created the pleasant atmosphere in our class. Therefore, our studies seemed to be a lot easier and seemed to be fun. Well, regarding the IELTS lingo, well, let me see. I also had a good impression. As I was saying, I study in the pandemic, so everything had to be online, right? But the consultant and the teachers were really supportive. And what's more is that there were just 6 to 7 students in a class, so that could ensure the quality of the lesson.
Yeah, very nice. So do you have any advice for other students out there?
Well, remember I said that studying for the IELTS was really a tough decision for me at that time. But I took a risk and I went for it. So go big or go home. And what I really want to say here is that tomorrow is a myth and you never know what you will get. So if I failed, at least I have tried my best to fight for it. So be bold and strong enough to step over your bubble to find out what you really want to do and put a lot of effort into it. As long as you don't give up, it will not give up on you.
Yes, actually, I'm behind you on this 100%. I think when it comes to studying for the IELTS, there are a whole lot of factors that can enable you to achieve your desired band score. Study environment, for instance, I think is one of the key factors. You need to have an environment in which you can have the chance to practice, receive feedback, and make progress. And you may even find like helpful companions along the way, for example, your teachers or your friends. Actually, you mentioned discipline, right? So I think discipline or self-discipline, to be specific, is another decisive factor. Actually, there's a favorite saying of Jim Rohn that I would love to share. You must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So I suppose if you're disciplined with yourself and you're persistent with your goal, then everything is attainable. Yes, and I think Lango is the perfect place to find such an environment, such companions, and develop such discipline. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, and for all of you guys out there, if you want to achieve a 7.5 just like Nga here, then leave a message right away in order to get completely free advice on studying route. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye for now. Goodbye. Yes.